Hey guys, it's Pauly with J&P Cycles. I've got Chris Callan here from Cycle Source Magazine. He's in town, but his bike's not charging, so we're gonna jump in and see what's going on with it. All right, Chris, I guess before we do anything, why don't we go ahead and check your battery, see what kind of voltage you got.
You know, this is a neat thing that you learn along the way, and one of the things I picked up from reading over your actual troubleshooting guide online is that when you do this stuff, if you've noticed that your battery is dead from a failing charging system, you want to start by charging the battery. So you want to, baseline everything off of a good battery. So that's the beginning, is to see where your voltage is, work from there. If you already got a weak battery, start with charging it up. That'll let you get the correct readings from everything else.
Definitely. All right, you got your meter on?
Yes, sir. 1249.
That's not all the way charged. For now, it should work for what we're doing. So Chris, the problem you're having is once you start riding for a while, the battery starts to discharge. So what we'll do now, start the bike up and see what kind of voltage we're getting to the battery, see if we're getting any charging actually to the battery itself.
Okay.
We're at 12.3,
Yeah, so
but it's just not quite enough. Yeah.
I forget off the top of my head now, what do you want it to be at, like 12.8?
Mine's 13.8 to 14.4 is where mine always sits. It's between 13.8 and 14.4. So at 12.3, you're losing. Once you get going down the road and you're on it and your ignition and everything else, you're just gonna start losing.
So it looks, just from a visual inspection too, like we don't really have anything glaringly obvious as far as connections or cracks in the battery or...
And on a bike like this, one of the first things I check is for your battery terminal on the negative side, because that's like one of the number one things from the vibration. That negative gets a little bit loose, you're just not getting good charge. I've had that happen on several rigids. I guess we'll move on and check, see what your stator output is.
All right, so hey, this is a quick little trick, especially if you're working by yourself. We're just gonna grab a section of wire here with an alligator clip, and we're gonna work this onto the ground of our battery. That way, we can put that down. It's just gonna stay there. Switch this over to our continuity test and unplug our regulator to the stator connector. Now, with this, I can show you here, when it zeroes out, it has continuity. What we wanna see here, one terminal at a time, you can see the number isn't going anywhere, so we don't have continuity, which means the stator is isolated.
It's not grounded, that's a plus.
So now we can move on to our voltage output test. And take this up to 20 volts. Per 1,000 RPM.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good. All right, so we're good there. That tells us that it's most likely going to be the voltage regulator, which fortunately for us is the easiest part to change. Chris, I went in earlier today and I picked us up a twin power voltage regulator. So we'll take this one off, put the twin power on, and hopefully we'll be good to go.
Okay, so again, we're gonna switch back to our continuity test on the ohm meter.
What we're doing is we're checking to make sure that the voltage regulator is actually grounded to the chassis. If not, then you're not gonna get proper ground, it's not gonna charge. So you can see there, we're grounded.
Okay, so just for the curiosity of it, we're almost 100% sure that our regulator is bad. Set on the ohm scale, we should get a reading here of 0.1 to 0.2 of resistance. You can see that it's far above, so changing that out. Again, this is awesome to have two people to help do stuff like this.
All right, so we have the twin power unit. The thing I like about them is this is an OEM equivalent. It's not just a cheap piece of junk, it's actually a good quality product. It's equivalent to OEM, so not gonna have trouble with this, in 10,000 miles. I have one of these on my Dyna, so I can speak that it's made it about 30,000 miles so far. All right, so with the new voltage regulator on, I'm gonna go ahead, See that we've got good contact there. And I guess start it up. Let's see what we do. We're already up to 13. Yeah, so that's definitely the issue. 14.4. Awesome. So we hit 14.4. That's what, I said I wanted it between 13.8 and 14.4 typically, and that's where we're at. A little bit of troubleshooting, and fortunately not a stator replacement. And you guys are gonna be back on the road.
The great thing about this, man, is this is an opportunity for us to talk about stuff like this is just regular motorcycle on the road life. But Pauly and I were talking earlier, when we were young, a good ohm meter, a good multimeter was $200-300, man. We picked this thing up on the way over here to do this stuff for $30 at an O'Reilly. You can get them even cheaper than that, like the, models with less functionality and stuff that you can do these basic tests with, you can get for $15. So to have one of these and, go through the instructions to learn how to use it, it's a priceless piece in your toolbox, and it makes life like this so much easier because you can throw a regulator up on the shelf, or maybe your buddy has one. It's not going to interrupt a good weekend.
Yep, definitely. And it's doesn't take up much room in your tool bag either, just to have. Because on the side of the road, man, you could call dealerships and everything forever trying to find the right parts. And if you don't know what parts you need, you're just shooting in the dark.
Absolutely.
I'm glad this worked out, Chris. I'm glad we were here. I'm glad Twin Power was able to hook us up too. So
now I'm even more glad because I'm going to go rock Texas Hill Country.
All right, sounds fun, man. Have fun.